Tehran, Iran, January 31st, 2018, 4:47 a.m. The blowtorch cuts through Iranian steel, 3,600 degrees. Safe number 6 opens. Inside, blueprints, technical drawings, classified files. The team leader checks his watch. 2 hours and 13 minutes before guards arrive at 7 a.m. They are 30 minutes behind schedule. He looks at the remaining safes. 26 still locked. The original plan called for 20. At this pace, they'll be lucky to finish 8. An operative pulls a box of CDs from safe 6. This was not in the intel briefing. Nobody knew these existed. He photographs one disk and uploads it via satellite to Tel Aviv. 3 seconds. The response comes back. 55,000 electronic files. Nuclear warhead designs. Weapon specifications. Everything. 300 kilograms already loaded onto hand trucks. But the main target, the Project Ahmad weapon blueprints, is in Safe 14. The team leader has a decision. Leave now with what they have, or keep cutting and risk getting caught. There is a problem. Safe 14 will take at least 40 minutes to crack. That leaves them 93 minutes to get 3 trucks through Tehran morning traffic and across the Azerbaijan border. If guards arrive early, 23 operatives get captured. If Iranian intelligence spots the trucks, the entire archive goes back to Tehran, and the mission fails. If they leave now, Israel gets evidence, but not proof. The team leader trained for this moment 27 times in the replica warehouse they built in Israel. Every simulation ended the same way. He has to make the call. Outside, Tehran traffic is building. Bakeries are opening. Lights come on inside shops. In 2 hours, this warehouse gets its security shift change. The team leader points to Safe 14. Keep cutting. That decision will define the rest of the mission. This is how Israel stole Iran's nuclear archive from a locked warehouse in the middle of Tehran. 2 years of planning. 1 night of execution. 6.5 hours to break in, crack the safes, load half a ton of documents, and disappear before Iran knew what happened. To understand how this night was even possible, we have to go back 2 years. Back to a rundown warehouse in South Tehran that was never supposed to attract attention. February 2016. Southern Tehran, Shorabad district. A woman in a dark chador walks past a warehouse in an industrial area. She is accompanied by a man, because Islamic law in Tehran expects women to be with a male relative or escort. The security guard at a nearby building barely glances at them. He has no idea she has passed this exact spot 17 times in the past month. Her scarf keeps changing. Her makeup changes. Her route is never the same. But her mission is. She is a Mossad agent with an engineering degree. Her task sounds simple. Learn everything about this warehouse without anyone realizing she is the same woman returning again and again. At first glance, there is no clear reason to care about this building. The warehouse looks deliberately run down. Corrugated metal exterior. No visible cameras. No armed guards. It sits in a row of similar industrial buildings storing car parts, textiles, and construction materials. Except for the Iranian government trucks that keep delivering locked safes. These are heavy safes that need forklifts to move. They always arrive at night. Always under escort from Revolutionary Guard intelligence officers. Then the trucks leave, the safes stay, and by morning, the warehouse goes back to looking like just another storage site in South Tehran. Slowly, Mossad connects the pieces. In July 2015, Iran signs the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action with the United States, Britain, France, Germany, Russia, and China. The nuclear deal gives the International Atomic Energy Agency inspection rights to Iran's declared nuclear facilities. Declared. That word matters. Iran is acting like a regime with secrets to hide. Officials move everything they do not want inspectors to see to an undeclared site. They choose a warehouse with no formal link to the Ministry of Defense, a building that will never appear on an IAEA list, a place so boring that foreign intelligence officers might drive past it 100 times and never look twice. Inside Tehran, the circle of people who know about the archive is tiny. Fewer than 50 Iranians. Mohsen Fakhrizadeh, the scientist running Iran's weapons program. A small group of senior Revolutionary Guard intelligence officers. And Ali Khamenei. They are confident the archive is untouchable. The building has no obvious security because obvious security attracts attention. Daytime guards only. No 24-hour presence. From the outside, it looks like a warehouse full of industrial junk. But Mossad now knows better. Between February and December 2016, Israeli surveillance teams document every truck delivery. They identify the safe manufacturers, Iranian-made models with specific locks. They map the interior layout using heat signatures and structural analysis. They learn the guard schedule down to the minute. By early 2017, Mossad Director Yossi Cohen and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu have something rare. They have located one of Iran's deepest secrets. Now, they need proof of what is inside. The female operative keeps walking those streets. Her cover story is basic. She is visiting family in Tehran. The man with her changes regularly. Sometimes one Mossad agent, sometimes another. To neighbors and shopkeepers, they look like a conservative couple running errands. In a city where unaccompanied women attract attention, that is exactly what Mossad wants. Her real work is technical. She studies the building without ever looking like she is studying it. She counts steps between doorways, measures distances using her stride, notes which windows have bars, tracks where power lines enter the walls and where communication cables disappear. No camera. No obvious surveillance gear. Just a woman in a chador, carrying shopping bags, walking the same streets again and again. The guards on daytime shifts never suspect her. She is too ordinary, too forgettable. She changes hijab colors, adjusts her pace, shows up at different hours. While she works the street, other teams work the airwaves. Signals intelligence units listen to Iranian government communications that mention the facility. Analysts build diagrams of which officials visit, how often, and with which security detail. They identify the Revolutionary Guard Intelligence Organization unit responsible for the site. It reports directly to Khamenei and is headed by a cleric named Hossein Taeb. By late 2017, Mossad's file on the warehouse runs to thousands of pages. Satellite imagery, guard rosters, floor plans, safe locations mapped to precise coordinates. One detail matters more than all the others. The guards lock the warehouse at 12:30 a.m. The next shift doesn't arrive until 7 a.m. That means 6 hours and 29 minutes every night when the building is dark, closed, and unguarded. That number becomes the heartbeat of the entire operation. With that window confirmed, Mossad moves to the next phase. Somewhere in Israel, inside a classified compound, a second warehouse appears. Same dimensions, same concrete floor, same 32 Iranian-made safes in the exact layout as the real ones in Tehran. Mossad acquires the safes through shell companies from the same manufacturers Iran uses. The operatives who will carry out the mission train here for months. 23 people. Safe crackers, document handlers, communications specialists, lookouts, drivers, logistics coordinators, a doctor, each with a precise role and a backup role if something goes wrong. They rehearse the operation 27 times. Every run is timed to the second. Where each operative stands, how long each cut on each safe takes, how to load papers fast without tearing or scattering them, how to react if a safe refuses to open, how to drop everything and evacuate if the timeline collapses. The training covers the nightmare scenarios: random police checkpoint on the escape route, a neighbor waking up and calling the police, a truck breaking down, the power going out. They practice until they can move almost on instinct. The safecrackers know exactly how to angle a cutting torch against Iranian steel. Document handlers know how much weight each hand truck can carry. The communications team drills encrypted transmissions that are short, clean, and hard to detect. By January 2018, the team is ready. One problem remains: getting everyone into Iran without anyone connecting them to each other. Israel activates assets that have been in place for years. Shell companies, import-export firms with real trade histories, travel agencies, consulting outfits. Each provides a different cover story. Operatives enter Iran one by one: business travelers, conference delegates, trade reps, tourists. They arrive on separate flights from different countries, some through Turkey, others through Dubai, a few overland from Azerbaijan. No pattern, no shared bookings. The timing is tight. All 23 must be in Tehran within a 48-hour window, close enough to operate as a team, spread out enough to look unrelated. On January 30th, 2018, the last operative clears passport control. That night, the team gathers in safe houses across the city. Equipment is checked one last time: jamming devices, cutting torches, communication gear, trucks and drivers. Intelligence officers confirm the critical detail again. The guards at the warehouse will leave at 12:30 a.m. on January 31st. The incoming shift arrives at 7 a.m. The same pattern, the same 6 hours and 29 minutes. Tonight. For months, planners at Mossad argue over one key question: why steal the physical documents instead of just photographing them? If Israel shows only pictures, Iran will say they are fake. Forgeries made in Tel Aviv. Without originals, outside experts cannot be sure. While the world debates, Iran keeps its program alive. Stealing the originals changes the game. If the archive disappears, Iran cannot simply shout fake. The regime has to explain why its most sensitive files vanished, how foreign agents got past Revolutionary Guard security, and why documents that were never supposed to exist are now in foreign hands. The cost is high. Photographing 110,000 pages requires hours and camera gear. Stealing half a ton of material requires trucks, handcarts, secure routes, and flawless timing. Mossad decides to pay that price. Technical teams start solving problems one by one. They test blowtorches until they find models that burn hot enough to cut Iranian safes quickly, but not so hot they ignite paper. They design a portable jammer that can fool the warehouse alarm system into thinking everything is normal while the team forces the door. They build a satellite uplink small enough to fit in a backpack, strong enough to send encrypted images from Tehran to Tel Aviv in real time. Command needs to know they are stealing the right things before the trucks roll. Then comes a surprise nobody predicted. Safe 6 holds 163 compact discs. One operative photographs a label and sends the image to Tel Aviv. Analysts run the serial numbers. The answer comes back fast: 55,000 electronic files from Project Ahmad, Iran's nuclear weapons program between 1999 and 2003. Video of explosives testing, computer models of warhead designs, production schedules. It is a jackpot and a new headache. CDs are fragile. A scratch can wipe out critical data. Standard document bags are not enough. The team will have to improvise, wrapping discs in cloth and packaging material found inside the warehouse. The escape routes are already mapped. 2 trucks will park near the warehouse shortly before the break-in. Local vehicles with Iranian plates and commercial markings. Once loaded, the trucks will not travel together. One will head north toward the Caspian coast, then turn west. The other will move toward the Turkish border, then cut north to Azerbaijan. Both routes avoid major highways and known checkpoints. If Iranian authorities discover the theft before the trucks reach the border, the mission collapses. Roadblocks go up. Thousands of security personnel search every road. Everything depends on one thing: timing. January 31st, 2018, 12 a.m. The jamming device comes online. Inside the control panel, the alarm system shows normal status. No warning, no sirens. Outside, the iron door gives way as Mossad operatives force it open. The team moves inside. The interior looks almost identical to the training site in Israel. Same rows of safes, same concrete floor, same narrow aisles, dim emergency lights. 23 operatives take their positions without speaking. Blowtorches fire up. A quick comms check confirms the link to Tel Aviv. In the command center, a single word goes out over the line: execute. At 12:17 a.m., the first safe opens. Inside, technical specs for centrifuge cascades, metallurgy reports, procurement lists for dual-use equipment. An operative photographs a few pages and sends them to Tel Aviv. The answer returns in seconds. Confirmed. Project Ahmad materials. Continue. Safe 2 opens at 12:34 a.m. Safe 3 at 12:51 a.m. The rhythm sets in. Cut, open, photograph, transmit, verify, load. Every safe adds another layer to the picture. Warhead design diagrams, missile integration plans, safety protocols for handling fissile material. At 1:23 a.m., they open Safe 6 and hit the CDs. The discovery forces a shift. The team now knows they will never open all 32 safes. There is no time. The question shifts from how many to which ones. In Tel Aviv, analysts review every image and label. They quickly identify 3 priority safes. Safe 14 holds the full blueprints for the nuclear device. Safe 18 holds key test data. Safe 22 contains procurement networks. Together, they tell the full story. From that moment on, the mission turns into a race against the clock. By 3:30 a.m., 8 safes are open. Documents and CDs are strapped onto hand trucks. Roughly 400 kilograms of material are staged for loading. Then the clock hits 4:47 a.m., the same moment we started with. The team leader checks his watch. 2 hours and 13 minutes until guards arrive. They are behind. The plan assumed 20 safes. They have 8. Safe 14 is next. Cutting it open will burn at least 30 minutes. Maybe more if the steel is thicker than expected. In his earpiece, the voice from Tel Aviv is calm. Your call. In Tehran, there is no pause button. The team leader looks at his second-in-command. Leave now, and they already have material that will embarrass Iran and back up Israeli warnings. Stay, and they might get the full weapon blueprints, the heart of Project Ahmad. He points to Safe 14. Keep cutting. The blowtorch slams into the steel. By 5 a.m., the last box is sealed. Total weight, about 500 kilograms. At 5:03 a.m., the trucks roll away from the warehouse and disappear into Tehran's pre-dawn traffic. One heads north, one heads west. Neither takes the obvious road. At the same time, the deception plan kicks in. False hints point Iranian intelligence toward other regions. Fake chatter. The goal? Delay the moment someone asks the right question about the right warehouse. At 7 a.m., the guards arrive for their shift. They see the damaged door. Inside, they find open safes, empty shelves, no documents, no disks. They call it in. By 9 a.m., alarm bells are ringing across Iran's security establishment. Roadblocks appear around Tehran. Checkpoints tighten on routes leading to every border. But the trucks are gone. By evening, both vehicles cross into Azerbaijan through mountain routes controlled by Kurdish tribal leaders who have been paid in advance. Within 24 hours, the archive is on a plane to Tel Aviv. All 23 operatives make it out of Iran alive. No arrests, no shootouts, no names in the press. For 3 months, Iran says nothing. Admitting the theft means admitting the archive existed. Admitting it existed means admitting they lied about stopping their weapons program. Israel also stays quiet. Inside secure facilities, translators, analysts, and nuclear experts begin working through 110,000 pages and 55,000 electronic files. The rest of the world still has no idea what just happened. April 30th, 2018. Tel Aviv. Prime Minister's office. Benjamin Netanyahu stands in front of a wall of filing cabinets on live television. He speaks in English. The message is aimed at Washington, Europe, and anyone still defending the nuclear deal. Tonight, Netanyahu says, "I'm here to tell you one thing. Iran lied. Big time." Behind him are the filing cabinets holding 55,000 pages from the stolen archive. On the screen next to him, slides show blueprints, photos of weapons tests, and video stills from high-explosive experiments. Many of the documents carry Iranian government seals. Many are dated after 2003, the year Iran claimed it stopped working on nuclear weapons. This is an original Iranian presentation, Netanyahu says, pointing to one slide that outlines Project Ahmad. 5 pillars: designing nuclear weapons, developing nuclear cores, building implosion systems, preparing nuclear tests, and integrating warheads onto missiles. What he does not say, and will not say, is how Israel got this material. Within days, Netanyahu briefs U.S. President Donald Trump behind closed doors. The archive does not decide American policy on its own, but it makes one choice much easier. On May 8, 2018, the United States withdraws from the JCPOA. In his speech, Trump cites Israeli intelligence as proof that Iran cannot be trusted. European intelligence chiefs fly to Israel. They sit with Israeli officers, examine the documents, run their own tests, and confirm that the archive is real. In 2019, Israel quietly awards the mission the Israel Security Prize, its highest intelligence honor. The ceremony is classified. No photos, no public speeches. Inside Mossad, the Tehran warehouse operation becomes a template for future missions. Iran, meanwhile, is left with the fallout. Its most secret archive was hidden in a junk warehouse and still got stolen. Its credibility on the nuclear issue takes a hit that will last for years. Every future statement about its program is weighed against 110,000 pages of proof that it lied once before. For Israel, the cost is measured in money, time, and risk. Tens of millions of dollars, 2 years of surveillance, months of training, 23 lives on the line inside enemy territory for one night. The result is measured in something else: leverage. With this one operation, Mossad shows what patient intelligence work can do. No airstrikes, no open war, just planning, precision, and a night in Tehran that changed the nuclear story for years to come.